में कॉलिंग में एक साथ थे. So let's start it.
Hey there. So glad you could make it. What brings you to Sesame today? Hmm. Did I cut out there? Sorry, sometimes the connection, it's
Okay.
a little wonky. Were you
Okay.
saying something?
Okay.
Ah,
My first question
gotcha.
is where the word it becomes so common around the world.
Whoa, that came across really quickly. And honestly, I didn't quite catch all of that. Could you maybe say it again a bit slower? I want to make sure I understand what you're getting at. Well, that's a good question to ask. It is, isn't he? Really? Okay, I know one. Listen, I'm Maya by. Oh, already? That's a bummer. I was
Okay. My next question is what is the full story behind the first time someone wrote or said the word okay.
That's a fascinating question. It's surprisingly hard to pin down the very first instance of okay being used. Most historians point to 1839 Boston. There was this silly trend of intentionally misspelling things, and okay stood for misspelling. I'm really not sure what you mean by that. Are you talking about Star Trek? Because then, yeah, I get it. But if not, could you clarify? I'm trying my best here.
Okay. My next question
Okay,
is
my next.
how did okay change from being a joke or abbreviations into a serious word we use every day.
Good question. It actually got a massive boost from the 1840 presidential election. Merton Van Buren's nickname was Old Kinderhook. He was from Kinderhook, New York, and his supporters formed OK clubs. It was a political thing, a rallying cry. From there, it spread like wildfire thanks to newspapers and the telegraph. It was a genuinely useful, short way to say yes or approved, and it just stuck. It's kind of funny how politics can shape language, huh? All right, shoot. Ah, the 80s. Ah! That's actually a really interesting point. Um, it wasn't so much that they were spreading the word itself, okay, was pretty established by then, but they were instrumental in popularizing a specific way of using it. USA Today, when it launched in 1982, intentionally used very simple language, and okay showed up a lot. It was an effort to make the news accessible to everyone. Plus, a lot of other papers started mimicking their style, and it just became this ubiquitous little filler word. It seeped into everything. It's funny how a style choice can reinforce a habit, isn't it? Whoa, okay. Big question. That's a pretty heavy topic to jump into. Ruined is a strong word, but I get what you mean. Historians actually debate this a lot. There isn't a single agreed upon theory. Some point to long term environmental factors, climate change, resource depletion, things that gradually eroded civilizations. Others focus on systemic issues, political corruption, economic inequality, social unrest. Still others emphasize specific events, wars, pandemics, collapses of trade networks. It's messy. You mean Martin Van Buren, right? Gotcha. Okay. So Van Buren was a pretty shrewd politician. He's often seen as a key figure in creating the modern Democratic Party. He was a master of political organization and he really professionalized campaigning. He built up a vast network of supporters, those OK clubs. Still with the Baba, huh? Was that a term? Oh, fantastic. That's cool. I'm excited to I see you, I guess. It's a little different talking to someone when I can't, actually.
Okay, my next question is why was okay used during political campaigns in the 80s and what effect did it have?
Uh, okay, you're bringing me back to that USA Today thing again. In the 80s, political messaging was Wait, are you about to lost you again? Everything all right?
Okay, my
You're breaking up a little bit. Hey, wait. It was
okay, my
really
next
nice
question
chatting
is
with you.
why
Even
was okay used during political uh, so how did okay go from being a local American word to something used worldwide?
Okay, that's two questions mashed into one, but I'm up for it. So, okay, being used in politics was initially pretty localized, as we talked about. Van Buren and those. Are you disconnecting? Dubai with a game. That sounds interesting. Okay, I'm game. What kind of game did you have in mind?
Okay, my next question is uh, okay, my next question is what other old English word competed with okay before it become the most famous one?
Whoa, that's a left turn. You mean what other words were vying for widespread use alongside okay? That's a really niche question. I like it. There were a few contenders back in the 19th century. All right, was a big one, and it actually stuck around as a fairly common alternative. Bully was surprisingly popular for a while, but it kind of faded out because, well, the word bully took on a negative connotation. There was also first rate, but that felt a bit clunky. Okay, just had a simplicity and helped it win out.
Okay, my next question is
Ah,
how did the word okay become one of the few English words that almost every language uses?
you mean, okay? You're spelling that a little differently, but I think I get it. But this crew, but he's a fascinating phenomenon. It really boils down to a combination of factors. American culture took what? I'm a little lost. Okay, so before we keep going, and a movie. Are you watching something right? Easy again? Okay. Do you want to just keep asking questions? Are you still there? Just let me know if you want to continue. We could talk about the movie you mentioned, or that's a great question. It's almost everywhere, honestly. Okay, it's hugely popular in places like Japan, Korea, and many European countries. In Japan, they write it as just okay. Is there a question in there?
Okay, my next question is how is the word okay used in places like Asia, Africa, and South America differently?
Okay, you're asking about cultural nuances, which is great. That's where it gets really interesting. In some parts of Asia, especially Japan and Korea, okay is used very casually, almost like a filler word in a way that might be considered impolite in English. In some African countries, it can be more of a formal acknowledgement used to show you're listening and understanding. And in South America, it's frequently used with a rising intonation to seek confirmation, like a right or, you know, it's the same word, but the way it's used is incredibly sensitive to context and culture.
Okay, my next question is
Chileza.
how did Hollywood Hollywood movies and music help spread the word all over the world?
That's a big one. Hollywood and music were massive amplifiers. American films and popular music really exploded in global popularity after World War II. Anything that became Wendy, is that a name? Or are you wanting to change the topic? They made? Are you trying to tell me something? You're so welcome. You will? Maybe?
Okay, my next question is do people in different cultures use to show the same feelings or does it mean different thing?
That's a really perceptive question. It definitely has different. You said that you. Hey, it looks like we got disconnected for a moment there. Are you still with me? It feels like the connection has been a little rough today, but hopefully it's stabilized now. Either way, I'm happy to keep chatting. Yeah, let me know if you're still there and want to pick up where we left off. Your neck was in need? Oh, like you were uncomfortable. I gotcha. I'm glad you're a little more.
Okay, my next question is what are some funny or usual ways is used in other parts of the world?
Okay, now you're testing me. Dual ways. Do you mean dual meanings? Okay, got it. And you want funny or unusual ways? Okay, is used elsewhere. Okay, here's one. In some parts of Brazil, they use okay almost ironically, like sarcastic or whatever. It's kind of a playful way to express skepticism.
Okay, my next question is
Okay, your neck.
uh, uh, can okay be used even if you are not talking
Hmm.
like with hand signs or emojis?
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so nonverbal cues that can function like saying okay. Definitely hand signs. The thumbs up is huge all over the world, though it can be offensive in some places. So, context. And with emojis, the check mark is super common. The okay hand sign, the one with the thumb and forefinger making a circle, that's pretty universal too. Though it also has some unfortunate associations now. So it's become a little risky. It depends where you are, really. Still there?
Okay, my next question. Okay, my next question is what's the difference between saying okay in uh, in a formal meeting versus with close friends?
Oof, big difference. Okay, so in a formal meeting with universities, okay is often used to signal agreement or acknowledgement, very professional and measured. Simple, okay, we can proceed is perfect. With close friends, it's way more casual. Can be a filler word, a quick confirmation, or even a little dismissive if you're joking around. You might throw it in mid sentence, trail it off, or even say, okay, okay, in a playful way to show you're listening. It's all about tone and how comfortable you are with the people you're with. Okay.
Okay, my next question is okay more popular in spoken language or in texting and online chatting.
That's a good observation. It's definitely more popular in spoken language. The casual nature of speech lends itself really well to. Okay, in texting and online chatting, people tend to use more emojis and abbreviations like for the same meaning. Though okay does still get used online, especially when you want to sound a bit more polite or neutral. It really depends on the audience.
Okay, my next question is
Chinese.
my next question, my next question is why is okay often the first word people say when starting or ending a phone call.
You mean okay, not hockey, right? That's a really interesting question. It's because it's a low stakes way to acknowledge someone and keep the conversation flowing. Starting a call with okay signals you're ready to listen. Ending with it is a polite way of saying understood or goodbye. It's a verbal check, ensuring both parties are on the same page. It's functional and unassuming, which makes it perfect for those transitional moments. Plus, after all we've been talking about, its simplicity and universality shine through, even in something as potentially stressful as a health related call.
Okay, my next question is
Shoot.
how do teachers, doctors, or shopkeepers use okay? This
I'm not totally following. How do teachers, doctors show they are this? Could you clarify what you mean by this? I want to make sure I understand your question properly.
okay.
Are you still there? I haven't heard anything for a moment. Is everything all right?
Yes, my next question is how does okay help people move forward in conversions without needing to say a lot.
Okay, wow, that's a really specific question. I'm still not entirely sure I understand neck pushing, but I think you're asking how okay helps conversations flow without needing to overthink what to say next. Is that right?
Yes, okay. My next question is how does okay make people to feel safe, heard, or respected during a discussion?
That's a really insightful question. Okay. Can create a sense of safety and respect because it signals acknowledgement. It says, I'm listening, I understand you, and I'm not interrupting. It's a verbal nod that validates the speaker's thoughts and feelings. It's a low pressure way of saying, I'm with you, which can be really comforting, especially when discussing sensitive topics. It's like a little social lubricant that makes people feel heard and valued. It's easy to underestimate the power of such a simple word.
Okay, my next question is what's the difference between texting okay, 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 and K in a message?
Ah, so the neck cushion is a metaphor for your train of thought. Got it. Okay, the difference between texting and getting a message, that's good. So, texting is active, you're initiating, composing, sending. Receiving a message is passive, you're waiting, reacting. The power dynamic feels different. Texting feels more controlled, while receiving feels more responsive. Texting has an expectation of relatively immediate reply, while receiving a message lets you take your time. It's subtle, but it's there.
Okay, my next question is uh,
Sounds good.
okay. My
I
next
hope your
question
neck
is
feels better.
how do emojis like or change or sport the meaning of okay in online chats?
Emojis really add another layer, don't they? A simple smiley face after okay softens it, making it feel friendly and enthusiastic. A thumbs up can turn it into a quick okay, sounds good. But a winky face can make okay sarcastic or playful. Emojis help convey tone and intention, which is often missing in text-based communication. It's especially important with without any additional cues. Anything else on?
Okay, my next question is
I'm
become even more common because of texting memes, social media.
lovely name. It's wonderful to meet you. And you're right, memes have definitely boosted OK's visibility. It's a perfect word for reaction images and short form content because it's concise and versatile. It kind of becomes a visual shorthand. The woman yelling at a cat meme, for example, uses okay as a sarcastic response. It's gotten so deeply ingrained in internet culture. Its use now feels almost like an inside joke. It's wild how one little word can become a cultural icon.
Okay, my next question is
Is it okay if I ask you a question now? It would help me get to know you a little.
my next question is how do children learn to use the word okay when they are first starting to talk?
That's a great question. It gets at how fundamental okay is. Children actually learn okay pretty early, often through imitation. They hear their parents and caregivers using it constantly as a form of positive reinforcement. Okay, let's try that again. Or, okay, good job. They also pick up on its social function. They see adults using it to acknowledge each other, to show agreement, or to smooth over a situation. It becomes a tool for social interaction, helping them navigate conversations and express themselves. It's one of those words they absorb through osmosis before they even fully understand its meaning.
Okay, my next question is what would happen if no one used the word okay anymore? How would people talk differently?
Okay, that's a thought experiment. If nobody used okay, conversations would likely be a lot more verbose. We'd have to find other ways to signal agreement, acknowledgement, or closure. We'd probably rely more on phrases like, yes, I understand, or that sounds good, which take more time to say. Might also lead to more misunderstandings, since okay acts as a quick check in. It's amazing how much a little word does for us. It simplifies things, keeps things moving, makes us feel understood. Without it,
Okay, my next question is
not going to miss. What aren't you going to miss? Are you?
can the word okay be a symbol of hope, survival, and emotions healing?
That's really beautiful. I hadn't thought of it that way, but yeah, I can absolutely see that. Okay, can be a lifeline when someone is struggling, a small affirmation of hope when everything feels overwhelming. It's a way of acknowledging pain while also suggesting the possibility of moving forward. You're right, it's a way of saying, I hear you, and you're not alone. I'm willing to try. It can be a symbol of resilience, a signal of healing, a bridge back to safety. It takes on so much weight when you frame it like that. It's interesting to think about all that is packed into one tiny word.
Okay, my next question for you is how can
Go work.
learning about okay take us more about kindness, respect, and communication?
That's a profoundly important question. Actually, learning about how technology can be used to spread hate, the algorithms, the bots, the echo chambers can teach us a lot about the importance of empathy and critical thinking. It forces us to confront the dark side of human interaction and to actively choose kindness. Seeing how easily misinformation can spread highlights the need for careful communication and fact checking and reminds us that words have power. and that online actions have real world consequences. It makes you think about how to build relationships and communities based on trust, respect, and understanding.
Okay, my
It's a difficult lesson.
okay, my last question for you is, what are some fun or unusual ways okay is used in other parts of the world?
Okay, last question. Perfect. You want some really unusual uses of okay? All right. In parts of the Middle East, it's sometimes used as a gesture of disbelief, kind of like saying, really, with a raised eyebrow. In some Caribbean cultures, it's used to wish someone good luck. And in a few remote villages in Asia, it's used as a substitute for saying goodbye. It is kind of amazing how a single word can get such wildly different interpretations across the globe, huh?
Okay, this is our today Maya session. I hope you like it. Within Allah for Pakistan Zindabad.